Russia blames Ukraine for military call-up center fires. Russia has blamed Ukraine for a spate of arson attacks on military recruitment centers, alleging that callers in Ukraine are tricking elderly Russians into committing such crimes. The claim is not backed by evidence. The Prosecutor General's office says Ukrainian agents posed as police or creditors in the calls and incited Russians to attack the centers in return for promises to settle debts. Some Russians were allegedly promised the recovery of their stolen savings. In that alleged scam, the victims were told that criminals had accessed their savings, but they would get their money back if they attacked a recruitment center. Sometimes the victims were also assured that such an attack would help apprehend the criminals. Prosecutors said the phone calls were made on a mass scale and coincided with Russian advances on the Ukrainian front. In its statement on the alleged scams, Russia's Interior Ministry stressed that attacks on military recruitment centers are punishable by up to 20 years in jail. If true, Russia's allegations, ironically, read as a massive compliment to the prowess of Ukrainian intelligence agents. BBC Europe specialist Alexander Schlichter says, Ukrainian authorities have not yet responded to the Russian accusation. Since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, there have been many such arson attacks in Russia, but they have increased in recent weeks, coinciding with a new mass recruitment drive involving a huge official advertising campaign. Russia's Vedomosti News Daily quotes a hardline nationalist MP, Sergei Mironov, as saying 25 attacks on the centers were attempted just on the 1st and the 2nd of August. Mironov has written to Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu arguing that the Ukrainian call centers identified in the scams are now legitimate targets for the Russian military. Last month, Russia raised the maximum conscription age by 3 years, widening the pool of men who can be called up to serve. Before the change, all healthy men in Russia aged between 18 and 27 had to serve 1 year of compulsory military service. Now the upper age limit is 30. Between the 1st of January and the 3rd of August, 31,000 extra soldiers were recruited into the army. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said, citing Defense Ministry figures, last September President Vladimir Putin launched a partial mass mobilization, a move that alarmed many Russians, pushing thousands of eligible men to leave the country. Recent arson attacks on recruitment centers, reported by Russian media but not verified by the BBC, include the following: in the 29th of July in Severodvinsk, in Russia's Arctic North, a 76-year-old pensioner tried to set an army recruitment center ablaze, but his Molotov cocktail hit the wall without igniting. On the same day in Kazan, a Volga River city east of Moscow, a retired doctor paid a large sum to a conman who posed as a Federal Security Service (FSB) officer. The conman then told her to burn a recruitment center, threatening to kill her daughter if she failed to do so. In Feodosia, Russian-occupied Crimea, a school teacher aged 51 was arrested on the 30th of July after a Molotov cocktail had been thrown at a recruitment center. She said she had been instructed by a contact on the Telegram messaging service on the 31st of July in Podolsk, a city just south of Moscow. A recruitment center was twice targeted by arsonists, first by a 76-year-old man and his son aged 50, who had allegedly been scammed by fraudsters in a phone call, then by a 22-year-old catering manager, who had also been targeted by phone scammers allegedly offering to return stolen money.